Alright kids, Castrong Gaming here, no beating around the bush. Now in this video we're going to be going quickly over the full skill trees breakdown for Vex specifically. And it's going to take me a while, and I'll do other videos on the other Vault Hunters as well. But without further ado, we're just going to go from top to bottom, starting from her action skills to her skill trees from top to bottom. Without further ado, let the theory crafting begin. Alright, first action skill, Dead Ringer. Okay, charge skill 3, starting out, spawn a phase clone minion, choose an inspector or a reaper. Phase clones lose a increasing amount of health per second. Their damage type matches Vex attunement when spawned, so like her elemental attunement, like fire, electro, whatever. Can spawn a reaper also that taunts enemies, deal melee damage. An inspector deals gun damage and cannot move. Okay. Incarnate, that's the next one. Okay, it's a skill, yeah, okay. Creates a phase explosion, dealing damage to nearby enemies, fully restoring their health. While active, Vex can use Eldritch Blast and gain increased movement speed. Eldritch Blast fires a blast from her offhand, dealing damage to enemies on impact. Dealing gun damage reduces the cooldown of Eldritch Blast. Nice. You can end Incarnate early, partially refunding cooldown. Very good. Okay. Next, phase familiar. Here comes Trouble. Okay. Her minion, Trouble, when killed, Trouble will respawn after a cooldown. When the action skill teleports Trouble, dealing damage in an area, Trouble transforms into a badass, fully restoring health and increasing damage for duration. Activating phase familiar will respawn Trouble if he is currently dead. Very nice. Okay. Now for the skill trees. Going the blue tree, it's called the fourth seal. Starting from the top, from left to right, going all the way to the bottom. Here we go. Sanguine Friends. Kill skill, Vex and her minions restore health. Okay? Alright, Idle Hands. Vex and her minions reload speed based on the fullness of her health. Cold Iron. They increase gun damage for her and her minions. Very nice. Fell Inscriptions. Vex and her minions increase melee damage and maximum health capacity. Brave Assault. Her and her minions fire rate for a duration. It can stack as kill skill. Gas Blaster. Alright, minion skill. Spectres gain the ability to use Gas Blast during gun damage to all nearby enemies on impact. Spectres will use Gas Blast on spawn and after they reload. Very good. Portents of Suffering. Her and her minions gain increase static effect damage. Very good. Coven. That's the first augment. Spawn a Reaper. Spawning a Reaper grants Vex and her minions health regeneration. Now spawning a Spectre grants Vex and her minions critical hit chance for duration, and they both effects can stack. Good. Curse Blade. Vex melee attacks apply curses to all enemies, to hit enemies, making them deal kinetic status effect damage anytime they take gun damage, so it's basically bleeding. Blood Sacrifice. Activating kill skills whenever her minions die. Very nice. Grave Fiends. Kill skill. Her and her minions deal increased damage and it can stack. Okay, Grave Quickening. Kill skill. Gains increased action skill cooldown rate and it can stack. Nice. Now Extra Curse requires a point in Curse Blade. Curse damage now triggers on minion melee damage and deals increased damage when they're triggered by a critical hit. Very good. Now, this is branch 1 on the left side, Blight Attunement, okay? So, Attunement, kill skill. While Vex is attuned to corrosive, killing an enemy causes a Haunting Remnant minion for a duration that seeks out nearby enemies, dealing corrosive status effect damage over time. Now, the kill skill restores Haunting Remnant's duration if active. Okay. Next, Augment is Wither. Minion skill, Spectres on Wither on an enemy when they spawn, dealing status effect damage over time and increasing damage taken for a duration, and it can stack per elemental type. Now, kill skill, killing a withered enemy, allows specters to use Wither again. Prismatic Ichor. Now, Vex and her minions apply a status effect. When they apply a status effect, apply another random elemental status effect. Good stuff. Keen Suffering. Now the status effect damage gains a chance to critically hit. Very good. Gastrubate. What? Great name. When Vex dodges, she creates a specter nearby and becomes invisible for a duration or until her next gunshot. I love it. Shoot to go. When she swaps her guns, gun has ammo's partially refilled. Okay. Necrosis. Status effect damage and damage status effect damage as well for corrosion. Heirloom. This is the capstone for this tree. Okay. Gain a copy. Oh, Spectres gain a copy. Currently equipped gun for a duration. Only one Spectre can have a copy of the gun at a time, and spawning a new Spectre will remove the copy gun from the previous Spectre. Okay, so you have to be aware of that. All right, branch number 2. We're getting to fire damage here. Attunement skill. Attunement to when she's attuned to incinerate, Vex and her minions gain increased critical hit damage and status effect application chance. Okay. And they persist after a duration, after attunement is switched. Okay. Hellish Harvest, first augment. Minion skill Reapers gain the ability to use Hellish Harvest, dealing melee damage 3 times in a large area around themselves and regenerating health with each hit. Reapers will use Hell Harvest on spawn and every third time they melee attack. Nice, nice. Recurrence. Whenever Vex deals gun damage or melee damage, gain a stack of recurrence. It increases her and her minion's gun damage and melee damage. Stacking stacks of recurrence are lost if new stacks have not been gained for a duration, and it can if it can stack. Nice. Reverberations. I cannot say that shit. Whatever. Melee damage dealt by Vex and her minions has a chance to deal incinerary melee damage. Okay, good stuff. Horror specs, melee override. Vex now throws phase daggers from her offhand, dealing melee damage to enemies hit, and they can critically hit. When they kill skill, the cooldown is reset. Very good. Burnt offering. She gains incinerate damage and status effect damage. Okay. Oh, capstone, Grim Reaper. Press and hold the ability to spawn a Grim Reaper that drains nearby enemies, dealing status effect damage over time, regenerating health for each enemy drain. When an enemy dies from being drained, there's a chance to spawn a new Reaper. Ooh, okay. I love it. Pincushion, okay. Requires a point in horror specs. Makes sense, because the phase daggers throw multiple phase daggers from both hands in a fan pattern. Killing an enemy refunds a portion of the horror. This reminds me of Zero's freaking Kuro knives, man. That's so cool. I love it. Alright, prismatic weaponry. Okay. Her and her minions. Bonus damage, again, critical hits. Bonus damage, random element type. Changes on reload. And increase for each active attunement. Ooh, okay. Banshee's Wail. Minion skill Reapers can now Banshee Wail periodically, dealing damage to nearby enemies, guaranteeing overshield to nearby allies, damage increases apply to overshield granted to allies. Damage enemies deal reduced damage for duration. Obedient Fiends. Vex gains increased minion damage. Minion skills and command skills gain further increased damage. Cool. Alright, Spirit Bomb. Reapers gain maximum health capacity, release a Spirit Remnant when they die, dealing damage to the elemental top to nearby enemies. Ancient Rats. Vex gains a stack of Ancient Rats for her and her active minions every second, increasing minion damage. Stacks are lost after duration with no active minions. Deathfall is closer. Whenever Vex takes damage while at a low health, spawn a Reaper nearby. Diner. Dead Ringer gains an additional charge. Or the capstone, Dark Pact. Vex can now equip 2 augments and gain the ability to use Dark Pact. Dark Pact, press and hold the ability while an minion is active to fully restore health of all phase clones, as well as granting increased movement speed, minion attack speed for a duration. Phase clones do not lose health over time while Dark Pact is active, and health loss is reset when Dark Pact ends. Oh, that's good. Okay, that's the end of the first tree. My god, that took forever. Next one. Vexcalation. Oh boy. Okay, Guns and Needles. Okay, restores a rep kit cooldown. Yeah, okay, so for your syringe for healing. Altolescence. Splash damage, double the effect when action skill is active. Leeching attunement. When she's attuned to kinetic, just non-elemental, she gains lifesteal, reload speed. Persist after attunement. Okay, grave sights. Critical damage, handling, it can stack. Fiendish Invigorance. When she uses the rep, her minions increase movement speed and fire rate. Nice. Gast Wave. Increase causing. Causing. Okay. Instead of causing a phase explosion. Effects. Launches a Gast Wave, dealing ordnance damage to enemies passing through. This can affect enemies taking damage. Yeah, okay. Bloodletter. Gun curl, chance to apply bleed, causing, kinetic status effect damage. Bleed is affected by a status effect application chance and is considered a status effect, and it can stack. Energy Vampire. She does status effect damage to nearby enemies over time, grants overshield when they're affected. Kill skill. Killing enemy with incarnate is active. Grants a stack of energy vampire, increases static damage, stacks for loss when incarnate ends, and it can stack. Grave implements. Render minions damage, increased damage for a duration, it can stack. Action skill duration, attunement duration for channeling. Material components, kinetic damage, status effect damage, nice. Grave power. Kill skills increase stacks, very good. Target percent. Gun damage critical hit chance against any part of the enemy. Oh my god, that's good. That's good. It's totally flak right there. Radiant attunement. Okay, for radiation damage. Splash damage, which is attuned to radiation max. Shield. Okay, cool. Iron Maiden. Phase explosion, eligible blast restore shield for each enemy hit, increase damage based on Vex's current shield. Conjunction, increase damage the more fuller health her shield is, and damage reduction the less fuller health. Okay. Dreadlight, when Vex deals damage, it's a chance to spawn a radioactive hazard, doing radiation over time. Restorative tonic, she's a rev kit, she gets increased shield generation for duration. Full Moon. Increase action skill cooldown rate, ordnance cooldown rate based on the fullness of her shield. Okay, Havoc. Radiation damage, status effect, desecration, phase explosion, eligible to create hazards dealing damage over time. Eligible blast no homing if it hits an airborne enemy. It bursts on delay, dealing damage to other enemies. Cool. Okay. Drink Full. She does it when Vex does gun damage. She gains a stack of Drink Full, increase her fire rate. Stacks of Drink Full, loss of whatever. Okay. Witchy Trigger Finger. Dealing damage with the blast or explosion. Fully refill ammo over gun. Current gun, granting a stack of the Witchy Trigger Finger. Increase gun damage for duration. Persists and it can stack. Okay. Keep Keen Mind. Skill damage. Skill damage gains critical chance against any part of the enemy. Okay. Phase Pocket. Magazine size, gun switch speed, doubles if the actual skill is active. Very good. Mortal Terror. Chance to gain active skill. Activate kill skills when critically hitting enemies. Not killing, but hitting. That's really good. Whoa. Grave Elements. They gain element damage over time and it can stack as kill skill. Vibe Check. Capstone. Eligible Blast has now 3 charges. Activating the blast consumes all charges to ricochet hitting enemies. Ricochets once for each charge consumed. The cooldown reduction from gun damage is doubled. Okay, definitely a ricochet build going on there. Okay. Strike Me Down. Passive. When she's in fight for life, she immediately gets the second one, becomes invisible for duration, and causes a phase explosion. Whoa, that's really good. Okay. Grave Vitality. Max health, regeneration. Okay, augment, grave harvest. Kill enemy while current is active. Spawns a soul orb, dealing status effect damage. Enemies use that as range to detonate a soul orb, dealing ordnance damage to enemies. Pick up a soul or to restore health and action skill. Duration. Arsacana, skill damage increase. Okay, a deeper grave. Duration on kill skills increase. Bloodshot. She uses a rep kit. Her next shot would become a bloodshot, converting damage dealt to kinetic damage and dealing bonus damage based on her current health. Okay. Essence Leech. She gains lifesteal. Double effect if the action skill is active. Heart Piercer. Eldritch Blast now sacrifices health on use. Becomes a piercing wave. Enemies take a hit taken. Allies restore health. Bonus gun damage. Healing on sacrifice. Has Eldritch Blast has no cooldown. No longer. Interesting. Blood is power. Okay. Vex gains bonus kinetic damage guns based on her current life steal when her health is full. Okay. That's it for that tree. Time for the last one. Wow. Last one. Sorry about that. Alright, here comes trouble. Alright, grave sustenance. Kill skill restores a portion of action skill duration. Enchantment. Bonus kinetic damage or guns when her action skill is active. Blood is magic. Increase action skill damage the higher health is. Hasty Fiends. Her minions gain movement speed. Damage reduction. Grave Command. Restore a percentage of Trouble's command skill cooldown. Respawn cooldown. Nice. Violent Outburst. Command skill press and hold. Excuse me. Action skill, command Trouble to explode herself, doing worse damage to all enemies and restoring health to Vex. While facing an active, sacrifice a percentage of her health and maximum health capacity instead. Cool. Overprotective, her minions get an overshield. Blink Strike, command skill, press and hold. Command Trouble to blink strike enemies, dealing damage. Blink Strike always critically strikes enemies who have less than 50% of their health. Whoa, nice execution augment. Yowlin Bay. Minions increase health, and Vex gets gun damage duration after after commanding Trouble. Okay. Morning. Kill skills gain increased effectiveness. Claw and Bang. Her and her minions melee damage, ordnance damage, overheal. Vex has increased overshield. Her and her minions health regeneration. Vorpal Fiends. Her and her minions gain critical hit damage. Branch number 1, Icy Attunement. When they're attuned to Cryo, killing an enemy restores ammo. Ordnance cooldown. It persists. Okay. Hexus Nexus. Trouble now taunts enemies, making them more likely to target him. Command skill press and hold. Action skill command Trouble to charge. Target enemy, dealing melee damage and a radius impact, creating a singularity for duration. Cool. Blast Rights. Whenever Vex uses ordnance, she gains an overshield and also fire rate increased. Overspirited. Killing an enemy with ordnance damage or a action skill spawn a explosive remnant, deals cryo ordnance damage to nearby enemies. Explosive remnant gains increased damage based on overkill damage. Whoa, that's straight up Amara's ability, and that's amazing. Blasted Fiends. Increase ordnance damage. A perfect of Vex's ordnance damage increases minion damage. Okay. Corporal. Her minions increase overshield capacity, overshield duration. While she has overshield, her minions increase damage dealt. Shiver. Crowd damage. Status effect. Yep. Trouble Bubble. Capstone. Trouble now gains overshield whenever he deals damage. While Face Formula is active, Trouble gains an elemental aura. Dealing ordnance damage over time to enemies. Very good. Alright, branch 2. Elemental Essence. She gains elemental damage. Double this while action skill. Vorpal Fang augment. Trouble gains chance to critically hit with all attacks. Command. Trouble of summon phase daggers overhead that fire at nearby enemies. Dealing melee damage on impact. Keen Fiends. Minions gain critical chance any part of the enemy. Whoa. Infernal Sum. Her and her minions critical chance to enemies that have less than a percentage of their health. Okay, another execution ability. Sacrificial Essence. Her and her minions gain increased damage dealt, but also Vex also gains increased damage taken for duration. Stacks are lost. Fight for life. Effect can stack. Reawakening. Whenever Vex and minions critically hit, there's a chance to restore action skill cooldown. Ooh, very good. Tail Whip. Trouble gains the ability to Tail Whip, dealing damage in an area over 2 hits. Double trouble. Now, trouble now gains capstone. Chance to create illusion near the enemy when dealing damage. Critical hits have double that chance. Illusions become passes when while face familiar is active. Very cool. Shock attunement. Okay. When the shock attunement is active, she gains increased movement speed, gun damage while moving, persists. Okay, augment, beast mode, command. Enter beast mode, become immune to damage and gain increased minion attack speed and movement speed for a duration. That sounds busted. And extends based off kills. Grave current. Bonus shock damage, can stack, dead wire. Gun damage can spawn a spark remnant that will seek out nearby enemies and explode, dealing shock minion damage to other enemies. Grave thirst. Her minions gain life steal for a duration and can stack. Infusion. When Vex uses a rep kit, her minions gain bonus damage with guns, melee damage, and elemental type based off of Vex's current equipped attunement. Storm Blast. Shock damage, status effect, yep. Unsealed capstone. Trouble will now mark his current target, causing them to take increased gun damage from Vex. Kill skill. When a marked enemy is killed, Trouble gains stacked of unsealed for a duration, gain health regeneration, increased damage. While face familiar is active, unsealed effects are doubled, and this can stack. Alright, that is literally everything in your skill tree. Sorry that took a long time. That was a lot of information. But hopefully y'all enjoyed this stuff. Hopefully this gives you an idea of what you're dealing with. This is a very non-traditional Siren class for the most part. But I'm still very excited to play her. And let me know all in the comments below. What Vault Hunter are you excited to play other than Vex? Does anyone stand out? Please comment below. But outside of that, I'll catch you on the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace out, Cub Scouts.